We'll help with it later. Give me a second. That's cool. That's fine. Just put it on your files on the hard drive itself on the computer instead of going to Google Photos, because Google Photos is actually a cloud. It still works though. We'll talk later though. All right. Let's solve using the sine and the cosine. I have an acute angle, 46 degrees. I can use the sine of 46, like I said yesterday, or I can also use the cosine of the other acute angle. In this case, 90 minus 46 is going to be, one more time, Garcia? 34 sounds great to me. So this is going to be 34 degrees. So yesterday's lesson was, look, the sine of one angle is equal to the cosine of the other, in this case. That's the key learning from yesterday. That's what we're reviewing right now, just on this warm-up. And I'm not going to cover any notes. Let's just review what we did yesterday. So I'm going to set up two separate equations. The sine of 46 and the cosine of 34. Let's do it. Is it 44? Yeah, that would be too much, huh? It would be 44? Yeah, it would be 44, huh? Right? 80, 90? You're right. He's right. 34. Because 6 and 4 make 10. Yep, it's 34, not 44. Yeah or no? Yeah. I need some more coffee. It's 44. Here we go. Ready, Badusco? Gonzalez, here we go. So it's 44. So let's do the sine of 46. Let's set it up. The sine of 46 is opposite over hypotenuse, in this case 8 over x. And the cosine of 34 is also going to be 8 over x. Adjacent is 8, hypotenuse is x. So that's the same kind of equation, just different ratio. They're going to come out to be the same. X is on the denominator, so I'm going to multiply both sides by x. So I have 8 equaling x times the sine of 46. So to get x alone, we're going to divide both sides by the sine of 46. I trust after all the time I gave you, someone was able to punch this in a calculator. Anybody able to? Go ahead, Garcia. 11.1 sounds great. To the nearest tenth. X then is approximately 11.1. If you type 8 divided by the sine of 46, excellently done. I'll get x by itself over here, same deal. So I'll have x times the cosine of 34. We'll divide by cosine of 34 on both sides. Oops. Cosine 34. And x is approximately 11.1. We're good to go. Cosine and sine are the same for both acute angles. That was a main point of yesterday's lesson. I want to go over one more example for the warm-up, and I'm going to release you to start your Adobe Spark account. Sure, absolutely. So what I did is we solved for x twice. So two separate equations. You got to know both for this Friday's quiz. Okay. Now, I'm not asking for a Picasso drawing on this one, but do try to draw this little lighthouse here that I'm about to put up. Go and draw a simple lighthouse. I trust you guys know what a lighthouse is. They usually have these on the coast of... Wow. This guy's brilliant. They use them for foggy days so ships don't ram into the coast or to the rocks or to the bluffs on certain coasts or harbors, because it gets very foggy at coast. So go ahead and just draw a simple lighthouse. The rays of the sun, notice here, the rays of the sun are making a 72-degree angle, the shadow here. This is 22 feet. This angle is 72 degrees. Just go ahead and create a simple triangle. Let's go ahead and figure out the height of the lighthouse just with the angle of elevation and the size of the shadow. So obviously this is going to be a right angle here. Again, it doesn't have to be a Picasso drawing. Just give me the best you got here. This is 72 degrees here. We're going to figure out, using trigonometry, how tall this lighthouse is. All right. Here we go. So the lighthouse, the height of the lighthouse, I'll label it x. That's typically the variable we use for an unknown. I have an acute angle of 72 degrees. What ratio? Let's think of SOHCAHTOA. What ratio should we use here? Tangent. Garcia says tangent. Let's see what we got. We got this side is 22 feet away from the lighthouse. So this is adjacent to 72, so definitely A. So it's either between tangent or cosine. And we have the lighthouse itself is opposite to 72 degrees. So that would be indeed tangent. We're going to use tangent. We haven't used tangent in a while. So let's set up the equation. Question so far on the way I picked tangent. It's kind of like when you play poker, you have to deal with the cards they dealt you. You play the cards they dealt you. The cards they dealt us was the adjacent to 72 and the opposite, therefore we use tangent. That was last week's quiz. So let me go tangent then of 72 is opposite over adjacent. SOHCAHTOA, opposite over adjacent, that's going to be x over 22. The rest is a cakewalk. Let's get x by itself. Multiply both sides by 2, and it's all good. 22, right? Because that's the side itself. 22 tangent 72, anybody get that for me? How tall is this lighthouse? 22 tons of tangent 72. Thank you, Valdez. 22 tangent 72? Sounds good to me. In this case, I think we're dealing with feet. Yep. So this is how tall the lighthouse is, 67.7 feet. So we use trigonometry to solve for a real-life situation. Any questions? Before I